On behalf of my wife, today is her birthday. She's turning a big 50, and she got a gift last night from MEPA, a token of love, and she wanted me to publicly thank you guys for it. So thank you guys for the birthday gift from my wife.
You're welcome. Here's the thing,
Good.
guys. If you have a significant other, well, let's be more. If you're married, we need to know what your wife's birthday is. We are one of the things we thank you so much and tell her thank you for and happy birthday from MEPA.
The meeting topic that I was given, or the thing that I was given to elaborate on today, is a question. And that question is, how does Donald Trump feel about the United States of America? How does Donald Trump feel about the United States of America? All right, I'm going to start again. The word feel. The word feel is an emotion. And so rather than get into how he might feel, I do want to go over some facts. Last year in June, we had a holiday, Juneteenth, 2025. On that day, no acknowledging of the holiday. The only post that came out was a complaint about that there are too many holidays and that we as a country should focus on other issues. This year in January, we had Martin Luther King Day. On Martin Luther King Day, the administration removed MLK Jr. Day from the National Park Service list of free entrance days, replacing it with the president's birthday on Martin Luther King Day of this year. And last but not least, we do have this video that was posted 2 days ago from them, or this administration, about depicting the Obamas as apes. And so rather than emphasize his feelings, I think that there's something being suggested by data or facts beyond how he feels. Now MEPA, we have core values: humility, character, integrity, consistency. All that's really been asked so far literally is for them to apologize, and he says that he won't. I don't know if you guys remember when Obama was president, there was this thing with Henry Louis Gates where he was arrested entering his own house, and Obama was president. So they asked Obama, how do you feel about this? And Obama said, hey, I don't think it's cool that a person gets arrested in their own house just because they're black. And they said to him, sir, you're racist. You hate white people. Like, why would you say something like that, Obama? You're a racist. So Obama brought the officer in and Henry Louis Gates into the White House and had them to drink a beer together to show solidarity. And he apologized for any confusion he might have caused from his office of president. But we have, in this instance, clearly all that's being asked for is an apology, and a person saying that they will not apologize. It's just a meme. So these are facts so far. But why? Why would this video come out? Again, we want to deal with some facts this morning before possibly addressing emotions. And this has to do with a movie that came out on Trump's wife. In this movie, it came out in the movies, and it made $7 million. This administration, they're creating a K-shaped economy, so they have a lot of money right now. So they were basically able to get the revenues for the movie to $7 million. But at the same time, on that weekend, there's a movie Michelle Obama made in 2020 called Becoming, whose viewership went up 13,000% on the same weekend that the film opened. Because again, why would the video come out when it did? It's not just about the content of it, it's about the timing of it. And the timing suggests jealousy, envy of that president from before, the president from 10 years ago that's not been in office for 10 years now, still some type of animosity possibly towards the job that he did as president, the things that he was able to accomplish as president. We're going to go a little further with this, and then I'd like to hear from you guys. The phrase is "Make America Great Again." It's an ideology. It's a campaign promise that was fulfilled in 2024 when 77 million people voted for Donald Trump as president. Its ideology, its base is really a response to the last 60 years in this country the progress of the last 60 years that have quote unquote been made in America. I don't know if you guys are on Facebook or not, but today white people are responding to the video, white Christians saying, hey, don't label this as Christianity. This isn't Christianity. We have to respond to this. It's a big deal. Now, I said again, one of the core values of MEPA is accountability, and that this guy will not apologize. But is it really about him being white, or is it about what is being represented by mankind at this time? What he represents as the leader of 77 million people. And he will not apologize. He will not take accountability. We can't be found that way. We can't be found being late to meetings and not taking accountability for that, or else we're kind of just like him. But another thing that they MAGA loves to promote with us is crime. Supposedly the black man is a criminal. Donald Trump, that's the thing that he loves to say, criminals, savages. And in 2025, there was this incident in Charlotte that was recorded on video where this guy right here stands up and kills this girl, slices all. I didn't watch it, so I haven't seen the details. But again, MAGA's about these people that are always late. They commit crimes. They don't take accountability. They got all these gains in America. Why? No, we need to make America great again. Go back to the time when these people were our slaves. Not this time, not just these people, but any poor person. We deserve all the money because we're God's people. We can trace this back to the Bible with Shem, Ham, and Japheth. This is their view. If you really go and talk to them, they'll pull out a scripture on you. And the flip side of that now is what we have is our response, right, as African Americans to this, or a lot of Americans, not just African Americans, white Americans are responding to this. To conclude, it is a polarizing moment. It exposes the polarization of America, the left and the right. The right, or the conservatives, say that they're responding to our behavior, the liberals, the blacks, all this progress. Then they clumped in the LGBTQ with it. So now transgender is a part of civil rights, human rights, all of that. Whereas we on the other end are saying these are some fake Christians or fake evangelicals that say they love God, but they really worship a man. The Bible says, or the word says, that in these times that we're in now, we need to find a common solution and fast. And that solution is here in 2 Chronicles chapter 7:14. God, he's making a promise of something that he will do. Even in this time where the left is all the way on the other side, quote unquote, mad and bitter at the right, even on the other side of the right, where they're saying you guys got all this progress and your people are still criminals and have no families. It's a healing that needs to take place in mankind. And God says he'll do that. He'll heal us. He'll heal our land if we do 4 things. Humble ourselves. Number 1, humble ourselves. Accountability. Our leaders are supposed to humble themselves. I made a mistake. Or us. If we're late to a meeting, you know what? I made a mistake. I woke up late. Humble ourselves. He didn't say if Donald Trump. He says if people will do that, seek God's face, turn from our wicked ways, and pray. Then he will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. To me, it's not about how this man feels or what he represents or what these 77 million people represent. Black, white. Donald Trump got the most black male votes of any Republican since before JFK. So black men put him in office too. But it's about healing from all of this. It's about God healing our land, us through nonviolent protests, demonstrating, going back to the things that worked before, not buying into the hate, but buying into what truly made America great before, not on the other side, how they plan to make America great again. So how does Donald Trump feel about the US, or how does Donald Trump, feel about us? I think these things have been proven by facts over time. They've been proven by an agenda. But yet our solution in resolving it is not to do what they're doing, but for us to see all men, young men and boys, seeing themselves as viable contributors to the community. Thank you.
Want to stay with this. And here go the real truth of the matter. It's not even so much about how Donald Trump feels. It's really about where you are mentally with of course, those of us that are in our 60s or older, we experienced civil rights and Ku Klux Klan and riding on the back of the bus and drinking from dirty water fountains. But you cannot just act like it does not exist. And it's not to create some type of racial tension between ourselves. Have you ever got to a place or ever been at a place in your life for even for a brief moment? And then we quote the scripture, if my people, which are called by my name, would uh, seek my face, turn from their twisted ways, then will I hear from it. Have you ever got to a place that sometimes you almost like, is there really a solution?
I hear what you're saying. I kind of absorb that on. I'll act like I wouldn't care. But, I mean, and when I say act it out, I'll leave it alone for a moment, for real. You know, won't I might not forget about it, but that's the power to me. When I write things down, I might keep it on my list. Sometimes I might even let it drop off, but when I peel back to other things that I see in the past about myself, um, I decide to put it back on or not.
Well, I think, like you said, the numb element of it, or, you know, for example, when Charlie Kirk was killed, HBCU started getting threats. Charlie Kirk was killed by, you know, a white person. So why did HBCU start getting threats? Most of us men are, I'll talk for me, we're trying to steer clear of this, or be, you know, numb is a good word, but it's like, what is this? How does this even, what does this have to do with us? Like, Obama's been out of office 10 years. So why does it keep turning back to this? We're just trying to kind of get through these 4 years.
Well, here's the truth of the matter. Uh, the 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 generations, most generations, I don't know all of them. I know all I know is the baby boomers myself. But outside of that, not a whole lot of the other generation experienced racism. I mean, like face to face, like we did. Like I grew up in Tallahassee, and I grew up in an integrated neighborhood, and I grew up in a place riding in the back of the bus. So most generations have not experienced it to that extent, and we are now. What I'm seeing is I'm seeing I'm seeing now racism sticking its face head up like never before. Now, what happens when you just grow numb? Like it doesn't exist. It does exist. And guess who is it is impacting? It's impacting us. There are a lot of things that are going on around us, and we just numb. We don't even think about it. We just go from day to day and from moment to moment.
From my perspective, number one, you have to understand the elephant or the elephant in the room. Donald Trump has a ego problem, and he lives in his own world of his ego. As far as what he did toward the Obamas, from what I saw last night, they didn't have any comment on it one way or the other because they know the individual that they're dealing with. So if you look at his poll numbers are down. The people who have voted for him have found themselves impacted by his policies because when you talk about food stamps, when you talk about assistance on any level, it's not just African Americans, it is lower income or middle income white people who are in rural areas who don't have the resources. So this has come to a full circle. Sometimes a distraction will have you distracted that you forget all about your other goals. And as you've told me plenty of times, you're focusing on the problem. So what is the solution?
Here's the thing that and this subject matter is not so much to want to know people's opinion, but to see how you're thinking. How are you processing what you're looking at with your own eyes? Rather than just living from day to day. How is life really impacting you? No, we're not going to sit here and worry, and we're not going to sit here and be super spiritual. But however, we should have a thought as not only Bible contributors to our community.
200 years ago, we were slaves. So, things aren't as bad as they were then. those people still had to have hope for tomorrow and live. So again, typically when these type of things have happened, this is a lame duck president that was president before. We had MEPA when he was president before 2016 to 2020. We were talking about these topics. Typically, we're just trying to weather the storm and get through these type of things. Is like we're saying, as opposed to focusing on them. Or when I was younger, I used to protest or get mad or things like that. Those type of things is not what you're seeing from us right now. We're more so focusing on weathering it, getting through it.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Trevor.
I'm gonna say a couple of things. I went to the MLK Sunday supper. They still have that every time around his birthday. But the biggest thing that we kept forgetting was there's no change that's gonna come, no matter how grand your idea is, if we don't change the foundation of this country. The senators and the congressmen have been in power for decades. You can vote any puppet up in there as much as you want to. But if people don't show up and actually vote the right people in office to get the wrong people out of office, all of this talk is talk. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be the voting suppression. There's going to be all these things. And we're going to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. And I'm not saying we're wasting our time. We have to show up. We have to fight. But if we don't get down to the root of the problem, then we are just going to spin our wheels for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 more years.
Well,
Yes.
I will say that we have an election this year. Warnock, he filled a special seat, so he's not up for election this year. But the other guy, Ossoff, the white guy, he is. And they're coming at him to turn the Senate over to Republicans, a white Democrat in Georgia. They're trying to get out of office. So that's a tangible way that we could contribute, is to definitely rock the vote in these midterms for Ossoff.
Are you registered to vote?
Yes.
And that's your personal thing. And some people, that's personal, and I get that. But I'm asking you, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or independent or whatever you might be, are you registered to vote?
That they have many, many groups, just like what we have with MEPA, that they are participating to make sure people are registered to vote. Because really, the Republicans, some of them, that's why they did this redistricting. They're changing the game. So you have to be ahead of the game and know what's going on. Now, it's easy to have an opinion on the outside looking in, but unless you're in the arena to actually know what the laws are or what they're trying to do as far as voting, you're almost wasting your time, because you need to understand what the rules of engagement is.
You think about it, since 1968, what have been done to benefit sole purpose of Black people alone in this country? And I think a lot of it is just we wasting a lot of time with a lot of the past, and we need to move on, as you are saying earlier, to things that are going to create more things to be more effective. So I don't believe in marching. Marching it helps, but it's not effective the way that it once was or did.
Marching is effective. The response to ICE in Minneapolis has been marching. What hasn't been effective is the violent marches, the provoking of the agent marches. It doesn't have to be "we shall overcome," but nonviolence is a more effective march than a violent protest, in which you're dealing with people with more guns, more ammunition, 10 to 1. It's not the best odds for your safety to be responding in violence. But I think even with the young people in all the high schools that have been marching in Atlanta, you're seeing it have an impact. So I believe marching and actually walking out into the streets and engaging the police, the military, the enforcers of bad policy is still a very effective tool, especially with news media.
Okay, thank you so much. You guys have a great week. I'm going to be reaching out to you individually, one-on-one, between now and next week. With that being said, how they said, if all hearts and minds are satisfied, thank you again for getting up this morning and coming on this call. let's grow Mappa. Let's invite somebody.